Hi, I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
And we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we are watching Heavenly Delusion, Season 1, Episode 4.
And Kuku is about to tell us where babies come from.
Show us, which is weirder. I don't like it. They don't have faces. I'm scared. I don't know what that means. I don't know if we're allowed to see it or if it's behind teacher-closed doors, you know?
I mean, sometimes you just gotta open the door. You just gotta go in there and see for yourself what's going on.
We also have Kiruko and Maru facing a man-eater that was prognosticated by Kona.
Yeah, he's some magical drawing boy that can predict the future and or draw things that then become
real.
Part of the existence. They become real.
Last episode was so fucking good, man. I have questions, but I have answers. Kind of, that led to more questions. I know where we got the jacket. That's what I'm trying to say. Robin, thank you. You good?
Yeah.
Sweet. I hate it.
I'm pretty excited to fight this thing.
I hate it. It's slimy. It does that. Oh! Oh no. Did it not get harmed at all by it?
We have seen that almost like different things work on different man-eaters. Like when Haruki tried to use the same way that he had killed the man-eater from like the night before or whatever, it didn't work on the one that ended up starting to eat him.
Are we gonna see babies? Uh-oh.
I would also be wary.
The wall. Uh-oh. We can just climb walls? Everybody has like something unique about them.
We did get the line about what's in the vents. Now it makes a little more sense why we got that.
Yeah.
Are we like researching?
Never taught them that behavior.
Deterioration. We never taught them that behavior.
This is a good through line from last episode from falling off. Yeah. Is the camera like rigged so it's not seeing this?
Yeah, why could you not see
what Kuku was doing? $30 minutes.
30 minutes at top speed.
Huh. Much like Kuku's hands, right?
The suit of water. I like calling it a suit.
Oh god. Ain't never been locked. Maru touch, yeah.
Calling it a water suit just says that you can get it off, get it away from the water.
Oh!
What is down here? Of like why?
Does it say do not enter?
Believe it did.
Oh!
It's so creepy.
What?
Oh! 上のフロアにあったのは野菜ばっかりだ。大麻を詰めた箱がいっぱいあると思ったよ。この段ボールと乾燥大麻に
Oh, the dried. It's literally sucking the water out.
Just fish out of water.
勝った。大丈夫そうだな。とどめを頼む。キル光線なしで倒すなんて。落ち着いて一つでも多く周りの情報を得た方が勝つ。それにしてもひどい。ん？キル光線は許せても。タッチはひどすぎる。
It doesn't sound as cool.
お姉ちゃんのね。
Stupid way you name things.
Okay.
完全に真っ暗になっちゃったけど。もうすぐ着く。大丈夫。誰もいない。誰かいることもあるの？知らない大人の人とか。
I don't want to see whatever
It
I'm
looks
about
like
to see.
they're like profiles of the babies.
学校の外。本物の赤ちゃん。
Oh.
これが赤ちゃん。
They look like man-eaters. They have the same eye, kind of, right? Oh no. They don't have any incubator room. Okay.
Are they being protected by someone who has like control over the cameras and stuff?
I think you're right.
And the cameras, you don't see anything.
It was the
You
second
don't
some
even.
It was the second the dude was going into the incubator room. The second. Footprint.
I don't like the idea of being remembered by the baby. No!
We don't know if that's
Absolutely
not necessarily a bad thing. What?
要検査支給と通知が来たとしてどの部位がどう悪いのか自覚できますか？
降参よみんな、あなたの勝ちね。
They're being
What?
protected by Mina, some
And
like
above it-
computer thing.
It looked like the same eye that the babies have.
Mhm.
そうじゃボケ、荷物むちゃくちゃにしといて。
これバケモン退治の手間賃だ。
やらなきゃこっちがやられてたからね。お礼をもらうのは筋じゃない。この辺のことを教えて。
そうだな。歩いていけばちょっとした街になってるところがある。
このマークについて何か知らない？
鳥をモチーフにしたマークってのは昔からよくあるからな。同じに見えるわな。
そっか。
このマーク、
え、知ってるの？
三つ葉のマークだ。
三つ葉？
おう、
これから行く道すがら残骸があ
A
るが。
destroyed Mitsuba along this road. What
あ
does
りが
that
と
mean?
う。
うちのボディーガードやらないか。
今忙しいから。
One day.
いずれ。
ふざけたやつらで。
腕も良ければ切符もいい。
Yes, I agree with you. They have skills and character.
気持ちのいいやつらで。
Oh.
羊羹。俺は食えるのか？
うわ、これうめえ。
残ってるからまた作れるよ。
名前つけようや。
そうだな、羊羹と乾パンだから羊パン汁。
ああ、この人ね。
The way you name things.
Everything's just hyphenated.
羊羹で食べる人に言われたくないね。
That's
名
true.
前はともかく美
Puns.
味しいよ。あと何回作れるの？三つ葉だよ。
本当だよ。確かだ。だよ。全然似てないじゃん。あのチンピラ。
抜けてる。やっぱりこの人この日の間にあったはずなのに。
The picture.
僕もぼやけてしまっている。
Yeah.
なことならもっとしっかりまぶたのメモリーに焼き付け。
Now I think Mina sent it to him.
写真？僕ここ最近シロにメールを送った覚えがない。
そっか。
どんな写真？
いや、まあそれは別によくて、変に思われるかもしれないけど、耳姫を見るとたまらない気持ちになるんだ。
というと、もう少し具体的に。
耳姫を僕の部屋に閉じ込めたい。
しばらくなら別にいいけど。それから？
服を脱がして触りたい。触ったり口で舐めてみたい。
僕を食べたいの？
いや、食べたらなくなるし。
じゃあ切ったり針で刺したりは？
そんなことしないよ。
It's so fascinating because, like, you know, the observation of the two kissing, it's like, we never taught them that. They're surprised that urges or desires develop without being taught.
タラオ、早く良くなってよ。また一緒に遊ぼう。ごめん。時を。
時を。どうかしたの？
最近みんな変なんだ。僕怖くて。
全然怖いことはないよ。人が誰かを好きになるってことは自然なことだよ。時をもそのうち誰かを触りたいとか戸惑わなくていいから。
Who taught Kona that?
じゃあ、それだったらコナがいいな。
僕も時代がいい。
時代くん、この放送は時代くんの部屋だけに流れています。タランくんの容体が急変しました。いつまで来てください。
タラオ、二人にして大丈夫？タラオ、逃げてほしい。昼間はごめん、気持ちも考えず。いいよ、そんなこと。僕はもう治らない。そんなこと言わないで。聞いて、ここから逃げて。ここは危ない。
Okay, that was Heavenly Delusion Season 1, Episode 4. It's like, I don't have any good guesses.
I was actually just thinking, when there was a nice pause upon starting this discussion, my first thought was just to blurt out, like, this is one of those episodes that we say, I don't know what to say about it. I feel like this episode just had a bunch of things that I kept. Do you ever feel like someone is, like, you ever feel like, how do I put this? Like, you're constantly being pushed to a point where it's like, oh, this new thing, I now want to talk about it, but then something else replaces it.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, wait, I already wanted to focus on that last thing, and now you're giving me a new thing, and it's like consistently getting replaced with like a new thing to be like, wait, now I want to unpack this.
Yeah.
What is this? What's going on? And I feel like this episode in particular, every 2 minutes,
there was another
something was getting
switch
replaced.
up. Yeah.
Like, it was like consistently like, I'm putting something on top of a pedestal, like, oh, this is the thing that I am wanting to unpack and figure out and talk about this episode, and then it was just consistently getting replaced with the next thing 2 minutes later or less.
See, like, this is the episode so far for me out of the first 4 that I'm like, I'm so fascinated and intrigued by what the author or the writer is, the story that they're trying to tell. Like, I like, of course, I would never know that until after the story's been told to me. But like, early on in developmentally in a story, you obviously lay so much foundation that is walked on and used throughout the rest of the story. And there are so many. I feel as if I'm one of the kids within this facility who hasn't been told enough to be able to put anything together. Mm-hmm. But then on the other hand, I am also laughing and loving the situation with Karuko and Maru. Like there, it's legitimately an A and a B story at the moment, right? Other than.
And us keep waiting to see, oh, is this when we're going to intersect the A and the
or
B?
how do they already intersect, right? Like,
other than Maru saying there's someone with a face like mine, and then Mimihime saying there's someone with a face like yours too.
Yeah, with
other
like,
than that.
The idea of the things that are given to us, right? The drawing of the fish with hands to catch prey, and then we're seeing it come to life in the A story. Like it, and the inclusion of Kona being like able to draw babies that within the facility is non-existent amongst the kids, at least. We're seeing like broad crossovers or specific crossovers without any without the knowledge of how those crossovers make sense yet,
right? Or how they would ever actually come to be. It almost feels like we're zooming in. We're like, okay, here's some kids here doing some kid things during the aftermath of a calamity, like 10 years after it. And here are some kids doing kid things at the same time. Let's zoom in on both of them and show both of them at the same time, working so independently from each other. Like, where are these stories going to converge?
One of the most like fascinating themes that I'm holding on to currently is that idea of why are they doing this when we haven't told them about it, right? Whether that's,
which sounds silly to me. Like, it sounds like something that scientists and I feel like these are things that have already been thought about in this world, at least. That I know, like, nature versus nurture, but the idea that some things are just always going to happen as with humans, and you don't have to necessarily teach them. And no matter what, through, like, the need for something, like, say you had these group of kids and you were like, we're not going to give them wrenches and tools and stuff. Through the need, they might inevitably invent something of their own that does that purpose.
Yeah.
Like, things don't need to be, and I feel like that's already a concept that is, like, known. So I find that interesting, the scientists or these people with the director, like, how did they do this?
Let's unpack that.
Why did they do this?
So you have two ways to go about it within how I'm thinking of it. You are observing people and they are showing curiosity and development that is happening without your involvement. And you are surprised by that. In my mind, that exists in one of two ways. One, the people who are in charge here, the adults, have no previous record or history of watching humans develop in front of them before. So the concept of them being able to move outside of the box that they are put in is absurd and alien to
Running
them.
like an actual experiment.
Or you are surprised that something is exhibiting human-like qualities that is not human. And
that is where I was going.
well, like,
in my mind, at least, that's where I was going. Like, I just like wrote down not human ? The why are they surprised? It's like training AI.
so one of the biggest questions that I think is obvious is the baby that is repeating back Tokyo, is that a younger version of what every kid is in here, or is it something very different? It, in terms of its head, resembles very very closely to the man-eater that we saw. You know, is this place producing what ends up being man-eaters, and this is what it is? Or depending on the way that we are raising what originally are man-eaters, are they able to adapt and turn into something that looks identical to a human? Are Mimihime and Tokyo, were they both man-eaters to be born with? Or are they some sort of like genetic crossbreed of them? They exhibit qualities that are unique to each one of them. There was a parallel between Kuku and the man-eater very distinctly in terms of how they were able to utilize their appendages, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how they're able to climb with them. And I think that that's something to focus on and fascinating about. Within all the man-eater, or the babies that look like man-eaters that we were seeing within this facility, each of them has like a chart in front of their incubators, which the room is also being called. And I wonder if within these charts exists like superhuman or otherworldly qualities already, like it's been manufactured that way, or if it's something to be learnt as they develop.
Right. Like, could go the idea of, okay, this new crazy creature that exists with, like, monster, basically, the man-eaters exists. How can we, and it's wiping out humans and it's eating humans. The line of thinking of, well, how do we survive? How about we take aspects of the man-eaters, study them, and implement them into, like, new humans? And so traits that the man-eaters are able, because obviously now we see that the man-eaters all have, like, something that's different about them, whether in looks or certain weapons not being able to be used against them for whatever reason. Like you said, a comparison of Kuku, like, climbing up the wall to what we were getting with man-eaters. These babies are not how we imagine babies to look. Also not how Kona drew babies to look. So, like, how would he know what babies look like? Yeah.
Why would you help Tokyo in terms of curiosity in discovering this?
Why? Huh?
If you were human or not, and you saw Tokyo potentially getting caught doing what they were doing, investigating babies, why would you want to help them so that they were able to do so?
That's a good question. So I think right now I'm operating that Mina is some sort of artificial intelligence to some extent that has control over this complete this center. I think the director uses a word like, this whole place is basically a part of your body. Controls the cameras, speaks through them. I think was probably the person that did the glitch on Tokyo's iPad. You know, I feel like it's possible that if you go with the line of thinking, isn't this place like a part of your body, the conversation of, do you start feeling for what is almost these children that are being born within you, as if you are the mother of them, and then you want to protect them?
I don't think it's that. I think it's a desire to change things. I think inherently sending the picture of Mimihime that it did, it was them instigating a change in feeling
And behavior.
Mm-hmm. Just like covering for Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just protection.
Well, what's the point of that?
That's what I'm asking. Like, why, like, in terms of Taro saying that this place is dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
is it the place, this potential, let's say, for example, if it is Mina who's doing these things, if it is Mina or some other AI or computer-like thing doing it, is it them who's dangerous, or is it the director and the other people who are dangerous? And if it is the people and the director who are the ones who are actually dangerous, why would a robot care to change it?
Right. That, or is this location dangerous? We have the idea that the sky might, like, basically fall in and Mimehime, like, 2 people are gonna come get her out, basically. What if it's the location? We have this idea of foreseeing things in the future. That's another addition to what about this place is dangerous.
Yeah.
Is it Mina? Is it the people, like the adults? Or is it something that is going to come to pass here that is going to be dangerous, that you need to run away before it happens? Different ideas there. At the moment, I think the show might be intentionally pushing me toward viewing the director and the other adults as villains or dangerous. That's where I feel like the show is pushing me at the moment, which could be a misdirection.
Do you think that whoever is operating, because I'm not confident that it is Mina, like I think that that's likely, but I'm not like 100% confident. Do you think that whoever is behind, you know, sending the picture of Mimehime, all like, and protecting Tokyo this episode, do you think that they are aligned with Taro or no?
Aligned with in terms of care about and believe that it's dangerous or agree with?
So, like, the direction of pushing people on to change, right? To have more intimate feelings or other, you know, aspects. If that is being pushed on by this whoever's in control, is that aligning with Taro's?
I think so.
Yeah?
If we're feeling like the possibility that behaviors are starting to be instigated, if the idea that Taro puts across to Tokyo is run away, we need to make it so that character becomes the person that would or would notice things were dangerous or would come to find out things are dangerous and then would then run away. Like Tokyo prior, why would they ever have, unless things were starting to change and things were being instigated and different things were being fed in. If Tokyo hadn't received that message on the iPad about, like, do you want to go to the outside, that line of thinking would not have been there.
That's fair.
It wasn't before.
It wasn't, yeah.
I mean, obviously Mimehime's, like, visions were there, but can we really believe that that is Mimehime's doing, or can we believe that Kona and Mimehime are being fed things, possibly, and instigated these lines of thinking or these images that they're seeing? Interesting.
I think that the do you want to go outside thing is a massive point, because before you bringing that up, I was like, is it the opposite end of things? And is this thing trying to like push people like Tokyo down a path where they'd feel things for a character like Kona? And if that path continued, like, we're being shown babies. I'm not 100% confident these people are even human, even though they probably are. Could this thing be wanting them to continue to develop and later on reproduce, and would that be dangerous? But I think, to pull it back to your point of remembering what that first interaction was, do you want to go to the outside? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, I think that this conversation is very much about, like, we have these kids locked in this facility where whatever they're learning and being around and experiencing is being controlled. It has the nature versus nurture conversation of what behaviors and what feelings are just human and will happen no matter what circumstances you put on and what, like, kind of cage you put this experiment into. It's like a psychology experiment. And then if you want to start having a kid think about something different or act different, then you need to start informing them in different ways, whether misleading them, whether teaching them something they didn't already know, changing perspectives on things, opening their mind up to things.
Yeah.
So I'm really intrigued. Also, something that feeds into me currently viewing the director as bad and Mina as this, like, artificial intelligence that's doing good is that the director is kind of suspicious, seemingly, of Mina. Like, oh, Mina, do you know anything about this? Oh, you win, Mina, okay.
Yeah.
You know? Like, believing that this thing, Mina, is intelligent. Oh, why did we get an alert? But then everyone went there to that room and there was nothing happening. Do you know anything about that?
Do you think that the director has control of Mina, or do you think Mina's like...
I'm gonna currently operate over not actual control. Maybe a semblance of what control you think you could have, but that you don't, it's not perfect.
Do you think Mina, like, birds the children, the babies?
I can't figure out where those alienistic looking babies come from. I have no actual theory of how they come to be.
There's the number 1373 on Mina's...
Or is that I-373?
Oh,
I think it's like a lowercase
right. I think it is a lowercase I-373. Interesting.
Because, like, here we're mixing the idea of robots and artificial intelligence mixed with, like, bodies, like
human-like
organic,
bodies. Yeah, and then
non-organic.
Below the waist is
almost like this big belly-looking
womb.
thing.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
We're mixing two things that don't actually naturally go together, that it is hard for me to theorize. It's like
holding
a big
its belt.
fish,
Yeah.
And it looks like a fish. Kind of like the placement for, like...
Oh, yeah. I was looking at its hands on the belly.
No, yeah, definitely a place to focus on. But those two things don't really go together well enough for me to be able to theorize what it is that, like, how these babies are created and what they are.
Yeah.
They're able to learn really freaking quickly and memorize faces, because I'm sure with that, like, staring and the almost touching hands through the glass, that there was, like, a memorizing what Tokyo looked like, and then also knowing Tokyo's name.
Yeah. I don't know what that's gonna lead into, but it's scary.
Well, how quick are these babies, like, how quick do they grow? You know, how quick do they age? Is that baby going to soon turn into a small child that's gonna run up to Tokyo and be like, I know you?
How do you already know my name, you know?
Yeah.
Where's a thumbnail or a still of the fish? Okay. So, do you agree that the fish's pupil looks pretty similar to the baby's head?
It's the same amount of rings, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And do you agree that that looks pretty similar to what's
the logo
behind
above
Mina?
Mina? Yes.
Do you think it's similar to the back of Maru's jacket? It says, we are neither machines nor game pieces. And one of the two eyes has a ring around it.
And what it says?
Yeah. Weird.
How did you notice that, dude? Like, I guess it's not weird to, like, want to read what's on someone's shirt, because if you're gonna draw in every shot, if you're gonna have a pattern or words on someone's clothing when you're animating it and in every shot, then it probably is significant of either the school they go to or something that is really important about the character to know, like a nudge at. But I didn't even think to look.
What do you think about it?
I think that the circle thing is either just a common...
It's only one ring instead of two. And then... Actually, that's pretty fascinating. So his is only one ring. So is the thing behind Mina. The fish, I thought, had two rings. Right?
Unless you're counting the outer eye as another ring.
That's two, for sure.
Yeah.
There's only one on his jacket, right? So
Wait, you just left it for a second. Okay.
There's two rings for the fish, regardless of the pupil. right? There's one ring around Maru's jacket, regardless of the pupil. Now, in Mina's interaction, there is one ring around the eye, which matches Maru's jacket, but the babies.
Now we have to find the babies.
The babies.
Okay.
There's two again. I don't know if this is significant, but it's a pattern. That the babies have two rings. Maru's jacket and Mina seem to only have one. I don't know what that says or gives, but if it's a pattern,
it's a thing.
That's
it's a pattern.
all I can do. That's all I have to offer.
Well, that's
I'm sorry.
it. That's all we have left for this episode. Two rings, one ring.
Man, I really love I feel as if sometimes like comedy or interactions between two characters in an anime are often like watered down in terms of trying to get humor over in translations or to other countries, and I don't like that. I like when it's like there was a pun in an episode of Attack on Titan that it was a pun on a Japanese word for, I believe, house. I could be misremembering, but it was said by a character named Connie, and on first like hearing, like being native, like I only know English primarily. We've studied a little bit of Japanese, but it only takes a second of thinking to understand what the pun is trying to be or conveyed. And I loved that for it, and I appreciated that. And within the same thing, whether it was regarding Mitsubo's logo or the ideas of like naming food within this episode between Karuko and Maru, I adore it. It makes me feel like I'm listening to two people who are actually alive and real people. I think the voice acting, especially from Kiruko, is incredible. Like when they choose to get louder or emphasize certain words, it's phenomenal. It's one of my favorite things in the series so far. Same with the score.
So basically, to sum it all up, to create characters that are somewhat realistic to real humans, have them name things badly, and make puns.
Yep.
Basically. I just want to compliment what this show has done at this point in episode 4. I feel like there are certain moments in shows that I feel like breed really great discussion or theorizing or thinking after you leave the room or after you watch an episode. And I think that for those shows, sometimes there are particular episodes that are more for that breed that better. And then certain episodes that feel like you almost don't want to, because you're like, wow, what's happening is beautiful, and the writing, and I'm so intrigued, and I'm almost so encapsulated with just experiencing it that I like don't even want to start thinking about it. And I feel like this show has given me both. It's given me episodes where I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to talk about this. I can't wait to like wonder and, you know, talk, like theorize and try to figure out what's going on or what are the options. And there's an excitement there because the show has bred an excitement there for me to theorize. And then this episode, I was just more, wow, I'm so intrigued. And I really like having both of those feelings depending on an episode.
I just think I'm a lunatic at that point then, because like I'm like, oh my god, we're neither machines nor game pieces. Okay, Mina's a three-dimensional being. They have thoughts on their own. They're not an AI. They're not a robot. Nobody's using Mina to control anything or to help anybody. They're their own. Okay.
I had a really funny thought. I was like, while you were talking there, what if we just immediately cut the video?
That's all I have, you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.